Hey, Christine. Thanks for joining me on Not Nosy, Just Curious. I'm so glad you're taking the time out to do this with me. Pull in closer so you can get your pretty face on here.
God.
We were just talking off screen here about you being back and how happy you are. And I mean, and you light up when you talk about being by family and stuff. So you moved to Arizona, and it was good for a while everybody was visiting and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then they're not visiting no more. And are you getting pains of homesick?
Yes.
You are.
Especially during the holidays.
That was the most hardest.
Yes.
Even though maybe you didn't have great big holiday gatherings, it was still hard.
Right.
So
there's nothing like being around family. Nothing.
Now, is this are you feeling this way now as you're getting older, that family is so much more important now, or have you always been driven by family?
I've always been driven by family.
Since you got your own family, your boys and stuff, that family, or are you talking your sisters?
My sister.
Your sister.
My sister's kids, right? We were married to brothers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I knew that, yeah.
So she had 4 kids and I had 3 kids. Our kids are closer than cousins. They're almost even closer than siblings.
And they have that kind of loyalty there that
they just don't met each other all the time.
And they all like each other's spouses and stuff.
Everybody gets along.
And did you miss that terrible in Arizona?
I did. Because I would only get a piece of the family at a time, which, was kind of nice. When you live around here, and around everybody, people just come visit and then they go home.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But when they come visit you and you're out of town, you have breakfast together. You watch TV at night together. You're together all the time when someone comes visit your house.
Now, isn't that a lot?
No.
No.
I love people. Well, I love my family. I love my friends. Anytime.
Okay, well, let's go back. Why? Now, I have always said it. You have said the things you have set yourself to do, you've done. You were going to move to Arizona. God bless you. You did it. You know what I mean? You didn't talk about it. You did it. You put the wheels in motion. You did it. You could have procrastinated. Why did you decide? What was that path your life was taking right then to go to Arizona?
Well, all the kids were just graduating college. Well, the 2 oldest ones had already graduated college. Tyler, we moved in October. He graduated in December, just a few months later,
mm-hmm.
which I came home for his graduation. But so we had this 4-bedroom house here in Fraser. We weren't going to need a 4-bedroom house anymore. And the opportunity came up.
What was the opportunity? Rob's job, or
Rob's job?
I've always wanted to live in Arizona.
I wanted to live somewhere warm.
Oh.
I didn't know anything about Arizona, really. I'd been there when I was like 4 years old.
So you just picked Arizona, or Rob's job presented Arizona specifically?
As a place. We could have went to San Diego. We could have went to Vegas. We could have went to Arizona, and we could have went, I think there's another place. I don't know. But
so what happens, Christine? You wake up one morning and you go, I'm homesick. I want to go.
The grandbaby came.
That's
and
what
I
it was?
flew home for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I flew down to Ohio and stayed with her the first 2 weeks of her life. And I said, this is where my heart is. I gotta go home.
So if you hadn't had that grandbaby, maybe you wouldn't have made this move, or the move was coming?
Move was coming. It just would have been prolonged more.
It would have. Now, was Rob on board when you said, I want to move back?
Well, he knew.
He knew you were already homesick.
Right. And, with my in-laws getting older, we knew life was going to change, know,
mm-hmm.
And we knew we had to be back for them as well.
So do you think the move was very singular? It was very kind of just me and Rob against the world kind of thing?
Yep, we are starting all over.
You and
All over again.
Now, why did you think it was just necessary to start over? You had already been married a while, right?
I meant start over coming back to Michigan.
Right, right. But I mean, could he tell, or did you have to say to him, I'm ready, I want to go home?
Well, he kind of could tell.
He could. And did he push back at all, or was he good
A
about
little bit, because I was having second thoughts too, you know?
it? Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just didn't say, oh,
You didn't.
no.
So
Because
what were your second thoughts? What was your cons about coming beside the cold weather? What were you thinking would keep you in Arizona?
we loved our house.
That was the only thing. The
It was
house.
like being on a vacation all the time.
And especially if people were visiting you.
Right. But, you know, in our backyard, we lived on this little lake, and there the ducks were, and we both loved ducks, and we'd watch the fishermen come because anybody could
can't
fish.
do that in Michigan, for God's sake.
And it was right in our backyard.
Okay.
You know, you think back to, you know, well, I think when I lived in Fraser, I'm right in the middle of a subdivision. I'm looking at somebody's.
I mean, that's subdivision life. I mean, I'm not particularly fond of subdivisions. You know, where I live is very eclectic. There's all kinds of different houses, but I think, you know, you left, you moved, and you talked about living on this lake. And I'm like, you just left the Great Lakes state, Christine.
Well, when
Your mother-in-law lives on a lake.
Right.
You could have moved to that lake.
But when you see the sun more than 300 days a year.
See, I don't like that.
And I could walk out in the backyard and pick a grapefruit or an orange.
Well, you could probably do that in your new home. I'm not selling Michigan because you're already here, but you can get fruit off of a tree in Michigan.
Right. But this was,
okay,
it was like heaven.
Yeah, it was like heaven. But then there's no place like home because here's where your family is.
Right.
So this is another phase of heaven.
And we took our time finding a house.
Yes.
We, you know, and we absolutely love our new house. We love where we live. We're so close to everybody.
You did centralize yourself. You
Yeah.
put yourself in the middle of a hub right there where everybody's real
Yeah.
close. Did you do that on purpose?
It just happened.
But you were already kind of interested in that area by
Right.
your sister.
Right.
Yeah, so that already happened. So you had no desire to be out by Rob's family out that way, or
No, because
try to plant yourself in the middle of Ohio and
it would have defeated the purpose of moving home.
Okay.
2 hours, you can't just say, hey, let's go get lunch or let's go out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You have to plan.
Right.
You know? And being so close, I sent the kids all a text at like 1:00 in the afternoon yesterday. Hey, do you guys want to do pizza night at our house and game night? And it went to everybody, and everybody responded, and we had an absolute blast.
Yeah, but you do realize that's special.
Yeah.
Not everyone has that. Not everyone has a cousin network.
I am so blessed.
You're so very blessed. I mean, I always said I'm fortunate all my cousins stayed local.
Uh-huh.
The only person that left was my brother. But to have that cousin network is rare.
Yeah.
Rare.
Well, it's not just my kids. It's us and our cousins.
Yes,
like my sisters.
That's rare too.
I mean,
yes.
You
to
know,
have that is very rare. And to have that relationship with your ex-husband.
Yeah, that's
I mean, was it always kind like that? Or
No.
was this no, so there was some animosities in the beginning.
a lot.
And so you guys worked through it?
For the sake of the kids, we did, you know? We
Mhm.
had to become friends. So
Why?
So my kids could see that not everybody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes.
Now, does your sister and your brother-in-law, do they have a friendly?
No.
They do not have a friendly relationship.
Not at all.
Given the reason for the breakup, is that what caused it to be so tenuous, where yours was more of a I just want to get divorced kind of thing?
it wasn't, you just want to get divorced. Things all happen. I mean, you sure don't grow up. At least I didn't as a little girl thinking, oh, I can't wait to get married, have 3 kids, and then get divorced.
But I'm sure a lot of women think about that first part of the story you said. I can't wait to get married and have children. A lot of women,
Yeah, that's your dream.
no, not mine, but okay.
Not mine.
Not mine. But no, so you wanted to get married, and I mean, you met him young.
Yeah.
So I mean, how do you have the constitution to look beyond that and think I could grow old with this man?
I was 15 when I met him.
And you divorced him. How old were you then?
32.
Oh, okay. So you had some time served.
And I still love my ex-husband to this day, and he knows it.
But never in it would never present itself if, God forbid, anything happened where the two of you would be a couple again.
No.
Never.
But is there anything that I wouldn't do for him? No. And I know that's vice versa.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, you really made that. When did you finally get over the hatred and everything? When did you find it in your heart to move forward?
It was probably 3-4 years
Really?
after we got divorced. I mean, we always worked together. You know how some of these people get divorced and it's one of the parents' time to take the kids?
Mm-hmm. You guys didn't do that?
If he was going somewhere or doing something and wanted to take the kids and it wasn't his
day
time, they're his kids.
You let him.
Absolutely.
But I think sometimes women get, those are my children kind of thing, and get very possessive of the children.
I wouldn't have those children if it wasn't for my ex-husband.
Well, I mean, yes, we understand, but that's very mature. That's mature.
It's a blessing, and God wanted it that way for whatever reason. It was his plan, not mine.
And you always felt this way, this mature way? Like, I mean,
You do a lot of growing.
not at first.
But I'm a recovering alcoholic. I went through my own hell before I started on this
Path of kindness.
Yeah.
Because you are very kind.
I try to be.
Do you have to try real hard?
No.
It comes easy.
Yes. Because I love people.
How do you?
I love good people.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. How do you love people like that?
The
world is getting kind of angry, Christine, and it's
is.
hard to sit there and say you love people when people are so self-centered. And
I don't think it's the world. I think God's getting angry.
I think I agree with you there. I mean,
God's getting angry
getting
because
mad at us.
all these opportunities we all have and we can't get along.
So, do you try to get along with everybody?
I give everybody a chance,
Mm-hmm.
and then I take it or leave it.
So, because everybody's not going to be your flavor, everybody's not
Right.
going to be your cup of tea.
Right.
So, okay, and it's okay not to truly like that person. So,
Right.
if that's the feeling, you just leave it alone.
It's okay for them not to like me either.
Absolutely.
Because I'm okay with myself
Mm-hmm.
and I like myself.
But that,
I'm a good person.
and you really believe that?
I really believe
No,
that.
I'm asking you. I believe it. I think you are a good person. I'm just saying so that was your come to Jesus meeting. This was all the work you did on your own when you decided to quit drinking.
Yeah, I was on the floor begging God to help me
And
because I didn't want to die.
did you think if you didn't straighten up, that
Yes.
was your path?
Absolutely.
Nobody scared you, Christine.
either
You
would,
scared yourself.
Yeah, I either would have killed myself, killed somebody else, or ended up in jail for the rest of my life.
Why? Would you get out there and drive?
Yes.
You did. Okay. All right. I've heard those 3 options by many people who, had a path that.
But
was
you
a
got to
bad
hit
path.
your rock bottom, and
Well, what
everybody.
was your rock? Some people say, no, I didn't hit rock bottom. I just realized it wasn't good for me, so I quit. I believe what you're saying. I believe you really got to get something not that it should be totally devastating, but it should rock your world a little bit.
So this is pretty serious, but when I decided to quit drinking because I wanted to live, all I really drank was beer.
Hmm. Now, did you give yourself permission? I don't drink a lot because I just drink beer.
Yeah, that was one of the excuses.
Right. So you probably did that for a lot of years.
Right,
I'm just drinking beer.
right. And I take care of 3 kids. I
Right,
take
right.
care
So
of
you
house.
made a
I
lot
held down a full-time job. I
Yeah.
had every excuse in the world that
And you-
it was okay for me
And you had
to
this
do.
dialogue with yourself.
Oh,
These
yeah.
are all. I'm look at me. I'm doing this, so I must not be an alcoholic.
Right. I must not be that bad.
That bad. You knew you drank excessively, but not that bad.
Yeah, until the end.
So what was the end for you?
So it got to the point, and I don't know if people can relate to this, but my body was almost rejecting the beer. I know that sounds crazy, but for me to drink a beer, it was 3 sips
Mhm.
and a beer would be gone.
That was it. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Done. Get another one.
Yeah, except it couldn't go down. And as soon as I would get it to go down, I
You
would
would
throw up right in the sink.
Hmm. Now, would you persevere? Let's just try this again.
I would
You would.
until it got so old. Standing there like, Christine, are you having fun? Are you having fun?
Did you say that to yourself?
Absolutely. And I said, if you don't stop, you're gonna die.
And did you ever seek medical help? I mean, as you're regurgitating this and forcing yourself to have another swallow, was that worrisome at all physically?
Not until, because a sick person, right? And I consider an alcoholic being a sick person,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't care. They don't care about anything. They don't care about them. They don't care about anything. They just need that
But
drink.
you cared. You cared enough to clean the house. You cared enough to take care of your children. You cared enough to go to work.
I functioned.
But
Part
these
of
were
me-
all things you had to get up and do.
Right. It was like it was internally programmed in me somehow.
So when you're at work, do you in your mind go, I can't wait to get home and have a beer?
If it was winter time, I would have 3 in my car
On the way home.
on the way home. I would drive like a church mouse
Mm-hmm.
in the slow lane, right? Because the time we got
Right.
off work, 11:30, nobody's thinking, oh, this lady's drunk.
So were you drunk?
I wasn't drunk.
Just very careful.
Just very careful because it was more important to get that alcohol in me than wait the 20-minute drive
get
to
home.
get home to have one.
But all this is hindsight. At the time, and you're doing it at the time, are you like, what are you doing right now? You don't need this. What are you doing right now? Are you thinking that, or are you thinking, let me get my beer?
Oh, let me get my beer.
Really?
Let me get my
My
beer.
beer. And let me calm myself.
Even when you're like in a situation like that, you're ashamed, right? You're very ashamed of what you're doing, and you kind of are by yourself. You don't let very many people
in,
know.
yeah.
And
No, I realize you
so
remove a lot of it.
there's a lot of work going into being an alcoholic
So
because
interesting. You put it like that.
because I didn't want 7-Eleven
To know you drank.
to know I drank as much as I did.
So
So
you had to switch your stores.
exactly. I could only go, yeah. I didn't want just that to be the
You're
place
only-
I got my beer from. So
So
I
you
had
were
like
that
4.
methodical that you had to adjust your buying power.
Yes.
Okay, let's get back to the sink. So you're standing at the sink and you're saying to yourself, this is it. Party's over. I'm not having fun. That was it.
I want
Christine,
to live.
I want to live. And then you go through all of this challenging time by yourself. You don't seek professional help.
For some reason, I ended up at the library,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the honest to God truth. There was a book that it was like it jumped out at me, and it was Susan Powter. I don't know if you know her.
What was it?
She's a
She was
motivational
but she
speaker.
was an exercise woman too. She had that. What was her thing? She had a, yeah.
Okay,
She
but
had
she wrote a book saying sober and staying sober.
oh, okay.
And I stayed up for 2 days and read that like it was my Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And she had 2 boys too. But in the book, she says how she also drove drunk with her kids.
And for some reason, her words in that book were so powerful. It didn't, nobody in
And
your,
relatable.
but I'm saying, Christine, your family, maybe your sister said to it, you're drinking too much, Christine, slow down. Your ma, that's neither here nor there. Maybe one of your kids said it, but this book was when you had the clarity and gave you the strength. Nobody's words, nobody's good intention, nobody's.
When my sister would say something or somebody would
You get
say,
mad at her?
I get mad. How dare you call me a drunk?
Really? So you get mad at her, right?
Oh,
away.
yeah. How dare you call me a drunk? You have no idea what I do.
So, wow. So then now you're not talking to her for a while.
Right.
And she would just come right out and say, you're a drunk. Those hard words to
She
say.
wanted to take my kids away from me.
Wow.
She went to my ex-husband's and wanted to take the kids away from me.
Oh, okay. Did you get mad at her?
Extremely.
Now, as you reflect, do you understand why she did it?
Absolutely.
Do you
But
ever
taking
thank
my
her
kids
for
away,
that? But she was saving your children.
would have killed me.
Right. But she thought it was a tough love path. Does she drink?
Very seldom.
So you're the only one that came up with the book.
Yeah.
Because your ma drinks, right?
No, my
Your
father.
dad did.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you were the only one that. Now, in the beginning, when you and Barn were drinking, you were drinking together, having fun,
Right.
like a typical couple.
Right.
And then
We're the
everything you
happy-go-lucky couple.
right, but everything you did revolved around drinking.
Yep.
Did you ever get worried that if you stopped drinking, you would never have fun again?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
It's so funny because I just did an interview with a gal beginning of the week, and her an interview was about her recovery also, and she said the same thing. She said, you're so afraid you're never going to have fun again.
Yeah. You're a different person, right? It's like alcohol relaxes you. It gets you happy, right?
Right. Until you're not happy.
But when you're sober and you're around people that are
drinking,
getting drunk, it's like you don't even want to be around it.
Really?
Because they get stupid.
Did you think you were ever stupid?
Oh, I'm sure. Are you kidding? I did stuff when I was drunk that I never would have did sober, ever.
No?
No.
Well, but you did it. You turned it around. Now you have family. You're fortunate you didn't lose anybody in the process, right?
Right.
Everybody forgave. I mean, did you have to have some sort of...
I did lose friends, though.
But were they really your friends, or were they just your drinking buddies?
I thought they were my friends.
Yeah, but it's different, Christine. Who told me this? Reason, season, lifetime. Whose words are those?
Those are mine.
Yes.
Yep.
So, and I repeat those words. I mean, because it makes sense. Those people were there for a reason only. Right?
Right.
So, I mean, it's truly a weeding out process. And friendships are rare. To have a friendship anymore.
And that's why I value my friendships like it's nobody's business. Now.
Well, it's important to do that.
Yeah.
But those friendships should also reciprocate.
Right.
you know?
Not only with friends, but family as well.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, it speaks volumes that you can call somebody Friday early and have the whole family there Friday night. You know what I mean? They could have probably been busy doing other things, but made the choice to do this. And everybody had a good time, and it was very spontaneous. And now it's going to become a every Friday night thing.
Well, I don't know about every Friday night, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
A lot.
So, I mean, that's good. Now that's got to make you feel good that you moved back home.
Man,
And it's cold out.
Rob and I even said today that was so much fun yesterday.
Yeah. And you don't say that too often anymore.
No,
you know?
and everybody's welcome at our house. Let this, you know me. I
Yeah.
love to entertain.
Yeah.
You know?
You do. That's why you do all that baking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Christine, will you do this with me every couple weeks?
I sure will, my friend.
My friend. All right.
My friend till the end.
Till the end. Reason, season, lifetime?
That's right.
Lifetime.
We're a lifetime.
All right, got it. All right, say goodbye.
Have a good one, folks.
All right. Say goodbye, Christine.